Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's Monero Meet. At the moment, it's just me. We're having some other people jump in here in a few minutes, but I wanted to get it started because it's already after 2 Central, and there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the last month. So to those who have never been to a Monero Meet before, this is meant to be a casual live stream conversation. If you have any questions about Monero, news, events, background, technicals, whatever, leave a comment in the YouTube chat. I'll be watching that and be able to go through those. But I hope everyone's having a great month. It's actually been a little bit longer than a month since we've actually had one of these. So apologies for it being a bit longer. sorry for the delay there, but we're here now. So thanks everyone for joining. So we've, quite a few things are going on in the Monero ecosystem. I can go through some of the basic news here. So first, the Monero DEF CON planning is continuing. Sadly, this year, we no longer have a Monero village. They wanted to not reference any particular project in the villages this year, so they asked that we change it to be, the cryptocurrency village this year, which, although it does suck for some reasons, it still gives us a good opportunity to have a big hand in planning the broader cryptocurrency village, which I think is in many ways more responsibility than we otherwise had before. So I think that's really cool. So that is happening the first weekend in August. Quite a few people are going to be there. There is a concurrent a Monero party that is happening that Saturday, which is really, really cool. And I encourage everyone to go. So that is on monerosound.com where the details are there. I think they have an announcement coming later today. So keep an eye out for all those details because the Monero parties are always quite exciting. So it'd be good to see you all there also. Yeah, it seems like Andres is joining here in a second, and Scott seems to be also wanting to join here also. What else? Oh, if you do happen, I just want to drop this in real quick. If you're watching this and you're an undergraduate student who is interested in cryptocurrencies, Magic, which is a nonprofit, has a scholarship program closing on this Monday. So this weekend, if you want to work on that, get that in, you can go to magicgrants.org and fill in a scholarship application to get that in. Hey, Andres, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm, doing what I can to fill the news by myself. You know how it is sometimes.
Yes, I know. Let's do the monthly. Less than monthly Monero news.
Yeah, we're good at doing them every 4 weeks, so it actually was slightly more than just monthly on average. But yeah, this past one was delayed by, I don't know, 3 or so weeks. So, oh well, we'll continue on a normal schedule after DEF CON for sure. So it's
soon.
Yeah, soon, trademark. Yeah, DEF CON is pretty soon. DEF CON really is soon. So if you're going to be in Vegas, let us know. Did you see Andres about the whole Havino Bisque privacy leak that they reported?
The report that Havino did.
Yeah, the one that Havino reported to the Bisque team that was present in Bisque.
No, I don't know the technical details about that. I saw that the Havino reported an issue that the Bisque team had, which I think is great and it's a nice way to show that collaboration is possible.
Yeah, to give some background, it used to be the case that to try and facilitate trades, someone could show up for like a Bitcoin to US dollar exchange, for example, and someone could say, yes, I'm willing to sell you my Bitcoin for the US dollars. I'm willing to sell you US dollars for your Bitcoin. So provide me with your USD deposit details. And they would get them before they'd actually commit the Bitcoin. And so then they just run away. Like, in theory, someone could have just run away and just grabbed your bank account details or Venmo details or whatever it was that you're trying to settle. So
it was a way without doing any trade for somebody to get your information,
Basically, yes. Now, you still need to share some information to actually allow the transaction to go through, but they no longer get the info without committing to actually do a trade. So okay. It's certainly better off than before.
Kind of for free, let's say.
Exactly. Exactly. There's no evidence that this was widespread or that it even was done ever. If it was widespread that people were constantly bailing and running away, the support team probably would have gotten reports of it. But it was interesting because I heard from um, I heard from the Bisque team while I was in Miami. They had a booth there, and they were saying that they were getting a lot of reports of users like putting up Bitcoin to trade for Monero, and then so they already deposited, like locked up their Bitcoin as the bond, and then took the
Mhm.
Monero. So sorry, one party would put up the Bitcoin, then the other party would send the Monero, and then instead of confirming they did receive the Monero, they would just never communicate with anybody else ever again. And so then they would end up having to lose their Bitcoin deposit, which
Yeah.
ideally someone would not prefer to do. So they were kind of curious. If you have thoughts about why that might be occurring, uh, let us know. But um,
So
yeah,
what would it be that like a way to de-anonymize Monero holders doing that? Paying with Bitcoin to just to know who has Monero, basically, who is willing to trade Monero.
I guess that's possible, but that's a pretty expensive way to do it.
Yeah.
Like all they needed to say was, yes, we received the Monero, right? And it'd probably be
Yeah.
less noticeable then because the
Yeah.
trade would have gone as like you wouldn't have to sit through this really annoying support process to finally confirm, yes, we did actually send the real Monero. So I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. So
Yeah.
it surprised me and it surprised them, and we don't really know what's up.
It is strange, but I mean the takeaway here, besides the bugs, is that if we have to explain it like this, the user experience for decentralized exchanges is still a long way to go for it to be mainstream. I mean, look at us. We have to explain that okay, the user is looking up their Bitcoin, and then it's very difficult to understand, and I guess that we'll still seeing like these kinds of bugs or issues as long as the user base is still small. If this happened on an exchange that millions of people used, everything will just blow right up the next day. And I don't know the numbers of Bisque, but I am sure that is way lower than they should because of the usability. I mean, of the UX. And the same will go for Haveno, which
Mhm.
we all know that has the pro of being based on Monero instead of Bitcoin. But besides that, the same issues are going to remain still. And the same will be faced by the commits, not only the atomic swaps, all of them. I mean, the technical part could be solved, but you still have the the UX side for people to meet each other or to know and agree on a price and do the rest of the thing. That I think we are not. Some people are talking about that, but I think we are not talking enough about that, and it's going to lag behind the the technical feasibility of doing actually atomic swaps.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that's fair. You can have the technology like we do right now, but requires a command line tool, and it's not something that everyone's just gonna like run with. Like the device needs to be online during the swap, right? So, oh no,
Yeah,
my phone lost battery. You have to deal with all those cases.
exactly. Yeah,
Or oh no, I'm going through a tunnel.
I remember. Yeah, please don't do atomic swaps while you are. But
Yeah, don't.
even though I mean, I, I I swear I studied the whole logic behind atomic swaps. They explained it to me twice. It was a pretty nice graphic. I think sometime I should make like a easier version of that, so only for people to appreciate.
Ah, he froze and dropped. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. But yeah, Andres is a really good designer. I'm sure that he'll be able to come up with some really awesome stuff for people. Just reading through chat here real quick. We're saying from Lavera TV. Hi everyone, welcome Lavera. Thanks for joining. Greetings from Mexico. Well, thanks for being here. Now, one quick question came in. When's atomic swaps BT6MAR will be provided? How long will it take with Litecoin, Doge, ETH? So I'm not sure what the specific plans are for Monero swaps with other assets, really. The way Monero Atomic swaps are currently with Bitcoin, it really relies heavily on Bitcoin's side. Like, it really uses as few things on Monero as possible, just because it's easier to do with everything else. So that's kind of the situation. I can't speak for any other team's plans for trying to integrate this with anything else, especially Ethereum. But BTC XMR is certainly available right now. You can do it, and Commit Network put out like a final stable release, effectively, given the protocol limitations of Monero. And also, hey Scott,
Hey.
you joined like right as Andres dropped, so I don't know. You took a spot.
Okay. Shame you left so quickly, but
Nice background, by the way.
thanks. So
I should learn how to set that up. I've just never tried. I'm sure it's not hard, but are you using OBS for that, or are you using something else?
I bought a Logitech cam. I think it's the 922A, and it came with a copy of like an app called Chroma Cam. I think it was called Personify back in the day. And it's what I use. I'm sure there's probably better open, or at least open source kind of based stuff like OBS, but this is pretty quick plug and play kind of stuff. So
Got it.
maybe in the future I'll try better tech, but it works well enough. I know the headphones are a little bit spazzy and whatnot, but
Jitsi and I don't think I've actually tried the OBS Ninja blurring, but they do worry that it like destroys your CPU. So I've been conservative at using it. The Jitsi one definitely, like, you turn that on and you're like, oh my god, this is awful. Like, it just is awful. I'm sorry, but it is. So hopefully that gets a little bit better. But yeah, we're just, I guess, wrapping up quick atomic swap discussions. Andres was saying how he wanted to make a better infographic to help explain it to people. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin to talk about that. But conversely, like, other interesting stuff going on. I know this isn't like strictly related to Monero, but like in the Monero related ecosystem of things that are either forked from or working on the process of integrating with Monero, both Haven and Thorchain had significant vulnerabilities within the last time since we had a Monero Meet. Like, Haven is going. They had several issues. People were able to print money, and they were able to arb trade using the like built-in mechanics to severely profit from Haven holders, basically from the network, like the other holders in the network. And Thorchain had some limitation with their nodes, such that people were able to. I mean, the details are pretty sparse, but people were able to mint funds with Thorchain also. I don't know if. Do you know if they're able to like mint Rune, or what exactly happened there? But in any case, they're talking about like substantial number of ETH equivalent, or ETH. Actually, to be honest, don't entirely know, because the details are still pretty light. But millions of dollars on both chains that have been impacted in the last month. So, I mean, it sucks. It sucks for them. But I just wanted to make sure that we covered that today, because it was pretty significant, and speaks to why it's important to have, to be really cautious about not only just a game theory, because on Haven, in part, it was a game theory problem that was exploited, and then on the other part, it was an actual like cryptography problem. So they had a double whammy. So that sucks for them. Were you following that closely? I know Seth, who couldn't be here today, had some posts about this in some more specific detail, but it doesn't really look good for anybody. And they're Thorchain says that they plan to cover the. It's kind of funny. They say no one will lose money because they're going to cover the losses that existed, but people will lose money because Rune depreciated and the whole system is built on runes. So like, people have lost money even if no one's gotten money, or even if the stolen funds are replenished, people still lost out.
yeah.
So, and on the Haven side, they're rolling back the blockchain. So crazy stuff in the crypto land. So I don't know how much that directly impacts any of the viewers here, but I did wanted to mention it. Sorry, real question came in asking if Kovri is dead. Yes, to all intents and purposes, Kovri is dead. Monero doesn't integrate Kovri, has no plans to integrate Kovri. Use Dandelion++, which is integrated natively, or use I2P0, which is really easy to plug in, or Tor, which is easy to plug in. Oh, hey, Andres.
Hey, hello, back.
Welcome back. We're covering the quick or quickly, but I think we're mostly done with the Thorchain and Haven news. Did either of you have any comments on that before we get back to the atomic swap stuff?
Nope.
No.
Okay,
Maybe
no
next time
comment.
when there's maybe more details and I've read up on it more, but
Got it.
No.
So what type of infographic did you want to make on today so to make things easier for people?
Look, I know I live in like in kind of a second world country. I just had a tiny power outages, so that's why I was offline. So people, don't use decentralized exchanges if you are not on a stable power grid. That's basically.
That's a good
we
point,
just
too.
prove it live.
Yeah, trying to use atomic swap, especially if you send like a really narrow confirmation window, which is variable, you can set whatever it is before it's returned. Yeah, if you're doing that on an unreliable power grid or unreliable internet connection. So basically, you're saying that Comcast users are just not allowed to use atomic swaps. Is basically what we're saying.
I have no experience, but with Comcast, but I know that AT&T as well. People love to make fun of them being unreliable. I don't know. I guess the grass is always greener on the other side.
That's true, but the grass is also always greener if you complain to the FCC about your connection, because suddenly your reliability will improve. In my experience, they did nothing to change their end, but after I filed an FCC complaint, all of a sudden it started working again. It didn't go out for hours a day randomly. So
yeah, the trick here is to say that you're going to switch with providers. That's basically what everybody does all the time. I got enough. I want to switch my IP. Okay.
mm-hmm. Right. Got it. I mean, if you want to talk about that's fine. We did with that at this point. It's a race for the usability more than anything else. At least that's how I see it. Yeah. Well, okay. No. Okay. Go ahead. What are desired paths? Hey, sorry to interrupt you, Andres. So it says they are not hearing you on stream. I can hear you, which is odd. I can try
That's
reloading
fine.
the. Can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him perfectly clear.
Oh
So.
goodness.
I mean, it's cool UX stuff for those who.
I am not getting him on my other. Can you try reloading? I'm sorry. I hear you. So it seems like both of us hear you, but for some reason the recording computer is not. And then I'll just leave it as is so that I can see the audio mixer as it's coming in. Yay, fun stuff. Sorry about this. So he was talking about just how they wanted to have preferred paths for people. All right, try again.
Hello.
You're good now. You're good now.
Okay.
So sorry. They probably didn't hear anything they were talking
Everybody
about.
missed the best part of the program. That's all. That's I'm wrapping up. That's all I have to say in this program.
Want to give like a 15 to 30 second?
I don't know. They didn't hear anything. Now, basically, about the UX of the atomic swaps is that we're probably just following the same path that we followed, at least on the implementation in Monero. That is, make a probably at first very or too nerdy implementation, even if we try not to. See what the problems are and what ways people find out to screw things up, because they will, and we already do, and then make changes about it and iterate on that, because it is my whole point before was that it is a very difficult trick to pull, to guess all the issues beforehand. So, but first we make it very safe. That's the whole, at least it's all the Monero approach is, please first make it safe, even if it's annoying, and then we try to relax security somehow, or some assurances that we require from the user, like, are you sure? Are you really sure? Sure, super sure? Click OK. Okay. No, just kidding. Really, really sure? Yes. You will be sending your money. Okay. You will be spending. Okay. Do you have your seed written down for sure, for real? Because we cannot recover it for you. So at first we make it super nerdy. Even if we try not to, we put a lot of warnings in there. And then we start to relax things when we see that people know how to use it, know what the dangers are, or what the roadblocks are. That's basically the idea.
Speaking of the swaps, did you both see it was like a Unstoppable Swap, I believe is the name that came out? They are a website that indexes public facing makers. So those who are willing to effectively sell XMR for Bitcoin, you send them. Did anyone here see that?
Just so it didn't use it.
I think it's a pretty interesting idea, because at the moment, I mean, they do have at this point some form of maker discovery. It's a little interesting, but it it's convenient to use a website that's in the middle. You probably need to trust the website to not like pretend to be walking you through an actual atomic swap, but actually be doing something else. To be like, oh, it's an atomic swap. Send Monero to this address. Like that's it's very different. It's totally not our address. But it is overall, I think, an interesting idea, a useful idea to have like an aggregation site. I don't think they actually even have a maker involved that is, at least when I checked, that was willing to do trades on mainnet. But maybe they'll come eventually. Who knows? But sorry, a question came in saying I'm the speaker working on Commit or Farcaster. No one here is like part of those two projects, but we're familiar with both.
Nope.
So that's I just thought that was pretty interesting. In terms of other tools too, Binary Fate talked about. So you know how with XMR.to there used to be some like community tools that came with that, and since XMR.to doesn't exist anymore, they kind of put these under a new was it mellow.tools? It's just like a list of like faucets and stuff, useful tools. Did either of you have a chance to look at those two?
No, I'm pulling up I'm still going through the unstoppable swap stuff. It looks like it's pretty recent. Like, I mean, probably should just do who is on that domain, but it looks like the Reddit at least was only created, or subreddit I should say, was only created like 2 days ago ish. But
I have to try the new Melo tools nodes. The XMR.to nodes were some of the best in my experience. We usually
they're pretty reliable.
Yeah, they were really very reliable. They were really fast, and we usually we use it very often to troubleshoot people with nodes, because node issues are still the most part of the issues that people have with wallets, at least with wallets like Monero that uses external nodes. Whoever solves the node solves the world. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Yes.
You still do like a broad discovery, right? You don't default to like a specific fallback node, right, anymore?
In Monero, we have to change that. We changed that on the famous node incident of December 2019, was it? When the whole attacks of the nodes, because nobody it was madness. Nobody knew what to do. From that on, we tried to hit the middle of the ground there, because we, by default, when you have a new installation and you don't know anything about it, you have some nodes pre-configured. You have one node that is maintained by us, by the Monero team. You have like five more, I think. The most well-known community run nodes. I can even check it right now. And then if you don't have it that before, if you had like a previous installation, it didn't put that for you. So in case you are like very paranoid and just want to use your nodes, nothing is going to be autocomplete. But we added like a button that if you have any issues and you don't know what to do, and you're screaming at your phone and you don't know nothing about nodes, you can say, okay, restore like trust nodes, and it will populate the auto discovery list that you have with those nodes. The issue that we have is that before that we relied on auto discovery for the nodes, right? Because we thought it was like the most ideally decentralized and
it was cool. It was cool when that came out.
Yeah, it still works like that. If you pull down, I mean, you can do this and you pull down and it will scan for nodes for you. But you have like an option that says restore default nodes, and you have the Monero outreach nodes, Monero world, the Monero nodes, the support XMR, several of those nodes, and those are reliable and they work. So basically, the way that we try to achieve like a balance between people being cypherpunk hardcores and using their own nodes is we don't populate nothing for you if you don't choose so. If you just pull down, you will refresh with automatically found nodes, free nodes. And if you put restore nodes, you will give you like the community trusted nodes that work very well.
So your backup isn't the cipher trace nodes, the Monero
No,
nodes? You
but
don't
that
use
would
those
be
as your
fun.
primary?
I would have no issue adding the cipher trace node.
Look at
Just
that.
like
He has no
just
issue
like
adding
saying,
backdoors
like,
to Monero. You heard it here first.
yeah, just like saying you can have your node. You cannot see my Monero anyway. It was kind of the NSA ban that you had it on your broadcast.
Yes,
as well.
yes, that was essential. We're really missing out, not with this
Yeah.
live stream that is public. We really just need to.
But okay, jokes aside, you hit like a fair point that we find sometimes when we are explaining Monero, especially in Spanish, to some other people. It's like all the wait. But what if I don't know? What if I don't know? Cipher trace runs a node, and you have to make like a mental gymnastic every time and say, okay, wait, because people come into the chat all the time asking those questions. I say, okay, well, maybe if you're connected to a node that is like evil, they can know that you're using Monero, but they don't know anything else about it. I mean, they don't know how much you're sending or who you're sending to. Is that right? Yeah. It feels so much easier. So all those things. But wait. What if the people that I'm sending to is a bad person and they're trying for me to know what? No, they cannot. They can't know how many Monero you have. I mean, it's still to do, but I think we should make like a website that is kind of like choose your own adventure book, So you start fresh, and it's like, okay, I'm buying Monero on Binance. You're a screw. You lost. You're dying a pit of something, burning hell. No. It's okay. It's okay. They know that you're. I mean, they know that you purchased Monero. They may tell your government that you bought Monero sometime in the past. They can say where they send the Monero to, but after that, maybe they not so much. So all those ramifications of possible scenarios. And make it fun, of course. If you don't make it fun, nobody's going to use it.
You got to have like a comparison to be like, person signs up for Binance and buys Monero versus buys Bitcoin, and withdraws Monero versus withdraws Bitcoin, and
yeah, every time that you touch Bitcoin, it's like, oh, you died. Oh. Yeah.
It's like those choose your adventure books. It's like go to page 65, and it's like just you die.
Yeah, you die. It's the same ending every time. Yeah, you are in the library. Somebody snitches your laptop quickly. You cannot do anything about it. It's like, oh fuck, yes, you're fucked. All that time. Yes, again
Scott,
and again.
What's your wackiest idea, Scott, to add to a choose your own adventure Monero versus Bitcoin book?
Oh shoot! The whole time all endings end in death in Bitcoin is pretty hilarious. But trying to think of like wacky. It's been forever since I've read like a choose your own adventure. Like I only did like the Goosebumps choose your own adventures back in the 90s. Shoot, I don't know. Just trying to think of mechanics. I guess like infinite loop or something. But
Yes,
there's no ending. It's just endless. But
like you trade you buy Bisque from or Bitcoin from North Korea and Bisque, you lose.
oh, like scenarios, yeah. Like
I will add like a loop that is, but we have to figure out a way that to make it loop like 12 times, because you sold your Monero to use it on DeFi, and then you farm somewhere and you put the wrap farm token into a new pool to farm some other thing, and you loop it like several times. You're a millionaire, and then suddenly it's a problem on the smart contract. You lose everything. You die.
yeah. I'm sure it's not super wacky, but I mean you could probably throw in some fun community culture references, like lost your stuff in a boating accident, etc. So
yeah,
you win.
Got a lot of traction.
You lose everything in a boating accident. You win.
There you go.
You win. That's actually really funny.
You make a guy like this with authority saying, I don't have any. Oh,
the
you are
disaster
poor.
girl in
You are
front, the
poor.
disaster girl with the boat in the background.
Yes. You win.
That lightning strike meme got a decent amount. That's on the Monero memes Twitter. You can see just on Reddit, someone posted like this lightning strike that came out of nowhere and just like totally destroyed this boat. And obviously, someone had to tie it to a Monero joke at that point, right? Random lightning strikes coming out of nowhere and wrecking havoc on things. Just kind of funny of a joke. Someone asked a question: are atomic swaps, do they leave traces about that swap? If yes, is it possible to hide that trace with something else? So on the Monero side, there's nothing that signifies there's a swap, but on the Bitcoin side, yes, you can see that a swap has been occurred. So the Bitcoin, to all intents and purposes, can kind of be considered tainted to the extent that it's known that it's associated with the swap with Monero, or highly likely to be. So watch your Bitcoin side. Monero doesn't solve the problems of Bitcoin, right? If you're making a Bitcoin transaction, we can't hide the info you put on the Bitcoin network through some magic.
You should swap Monero for Monero.
Yeah, you just use the
that
Monero.
would be the safer, yes.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
really, no.
I was gonna say. I mean, I don't think if you're solo going one way from like Bitcoin to Monero, I could be wrong here because I'm not super up to date on international policy here, but I don't think any of the exchanges will likely shut down your account if they see you've engaged in a swap. And you can correct me here if I'm wrong, Justin, but I mean, I don't think that would be considered suspicious because people make trades all the time anyways. It would be more so if the other way, Monero to Bitcoin, then you're, obviously with atomic swaps, who knows where that Bitcoin's been, but at least Bitcoin to Monero should be fine, I would think.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is so new, and no one's using it, so I highly doubt anybody's put any effort into it. But who knows? I mean, it's complicated, and it depends on what your counterparty uses the Bitcoin for. If it's weird, or, and it depends how people want to address these challenges. But at the moment, I highly doubt anybody's looking at it. But it is a permanent record, so they can always just go back and be like, "Oh, I care now," and be like, "Oh, well, 2 years ago you did this. What was up?" So
too bad.
No,
I think it's the trickiest part of the whole atomic swap yet. I haven't. It would be fun to see. I mean, it would be fun to see because as somebody who watched the Daniel Kim presentation with the lemons and all that, it is a tricky part to see yet. Who is going to be on the other side, and if it's going to be like a premium for those swaps for Monero because on the Bitcoin side is too risky. I don't know. I guess we will see.
yeah, I think to some extent you'll see the efficient market kind of play itself out there to some extent, where you'll see what the real cost is of having to trade in certain jurisdictions only, and you're just going to see that kind of materialize. Like, it's not the case that Bisque has the existence of Bisque hasn't made the spot price of Bitcoin the same everywhere. It's just kind of shown where it kind of falls, among everything else, so you can see the costs a little bit clearer. So it's interesting to see. Same person asked, or actually not the same person, just a different person with the Monero logo. And shockingly, there are quite a few YouTube accounts with the Monero logo in the chat. They say, don't you guys think that any Bitcoin acquired via Farcaster or Commit will be considered tainted similar to CoinJoin? I would say that's a risk. I doubt it's happening at the moment by anybody. It is a risk, though. And again, it's a retroactive risk. So people could be like, no, we're totally good. And then 2 years be like, actually, we have some questions.
You died.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You can have a slow death. Someone's going through. They think they made the right decision. It's going like pages and pages through, and then 2 years down the line,
the vote. Yeah, you're doing really great. That swap I did like 2 years ago. Life has been good, man. Suddenly.
I need this book. I need this book.
Yes.
We should include a choose your own adventure in Mastering Monero second edition, you know.
Yes, I will say Serhat about that. We totally should. At the end, so to see if you think you got the book, you think you understood everything, so take the test and see.
That's actually real. Like a test at the end is probably a good
Test
choice.
at the end. Yes, that's a good idea.
That's actually a really good idea.
Basically, in 9 of 10 cases, you die. You can. Yeah. People will be looking for the Easter egg ending when you die, but also I don't know, whatever. I will try not to make pick jokes or stuff like that. Okay, yeah, you die, but actually, yes, you are living on a foreign island with all your Moneros. Yes, on the Monero Citadel, as an undisclosed location, of course.
Yeah, we should explore those things. I'll talk to Serhat and see if we can add a quiz at the end. I mean, probably it won't be a fun you die thing in the end.
Yeah. You have to die, otherwise it's not fun of that.
But it would be good just to do like how much did you understand? Here's like a 20 question thing on like some of the basics and see what people respond. If they understand the basics and be like, congrats, you can go to a meetup and not sound like an idiot.
Yeah, that's challenging already. Especially
if you have ideas for what would make good Monero based questions, leave those in the chat. We'll be sure to go through those and see what makes sense there. Because I think that is a pretty exciting idea.
If we only had people from the Mastering Monero team in the chat.
If only, I know.
If only.
Too bad Scott here.
You need to get Serhat here. I don't know how you're going to do it, but
anything else I missed on the Monero side of thing? I know that it's probably too complex to cover here at the moment, but there's discussions about things like TX chaining in relation to how it can improve atomic swaps, different ways of doing selection with binning with Triptych to save on it to be more efficient. And like there's various Monero Research Lab discussions that are going on right now, and I'm sure people have questions about them, but frankly, it's pretty complex to cover, and we're still pretty early.
So, I mean, the next time this will happen will be after DEF CON, so we might as well throw, if you're interested in, cybersecurity, infosec, or just general hacking around, picking locks, anything really, breaking things, learning stuff. DEF CON conference is a hybrid this year, so it's a combination of virtual and on site, although at least in the case of the village that we're putting on, which we've had to rebrand from Monero Village to the cryptocurrency village because of Goon guidance, essentially. That's a thing that's happening early August, and there is we're doing crowdfunding through kind of the Magic grant program, which Justin can probably throw a link to it. But if you want to send some, Pico Monero or what have you to help fund the village, that's also appreciated. So I think that's mainly my plug for the cryptocurrency formerly known as Monero Village, DEF CON.
So Andrea sent a comment saying that they would really like captions next time. I believe YouTube disabled auto captions for live streams. I think that they made that like a Google Pixel feature or something. But YouTube will still auto generate captions at the end. If those are still incomprehensible or whatever, do let us know. Accessibility is important, and so we want to make sure that we're able to cover that as much as possible.
I would love to see what Google comes out with my caption.
Exactly, right. Someone asked for more details on the renaming. I mean, I just broadly, DEF CON didn't really want villages named after specific projects. They wanted to be like about broader topics. And so, exactly. So Monero Village was like, they didn't love the name, sadly. So, do you
We
have any
should
other
put
comments
like,
on that?
yeah, we should put like secret cryptocurrency with orange and gray logos village.
It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
one.
Only private.
The private by default
Yes, the
cryptocurrency
private
village.
default, yes. The big anonymity set cryptocurrency.
That's funny. Yeah, I do think the one benefit we have going for us with the cryptocurrency village name is that it's broader, and so it'll attract people a little bit more. Some people don't know what Monero is, and they will know what cryptocurrencies are, so they'll show up and be like, "Oh, look!" And then we'll hand them a booklet that's like, "Here's your cryptocurrency village information, and here's your Monero information." Like, we have the opportunity to really do that still. So,
I want to see both brochures.
And I think it's important too. Like, I know a lot of people, and obviously, if you're listening to this live, especially, you're probably pretty hardcore, Monero, super knowledgeable, but not. I mean, even we've seen hackers who, with ransomware that continue to use Bitcoin and kind of pay the price for it, essentially. So, even if you are technically savvy, that doesn't necessarily mean you have a decent knowledge base in a particular field. So people may not realize they get into Dogecoin because of the price fluctuations, the means, and so forth, and they may not realize that a lot of this stuff is essentially a permanent traceable linkable ledger. And so having a more broader kind of topic base allows us to kind of hit the points that we all kind of value and know of in terms of like what's important for privacy and so forth. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's still a very privacy minded cryptocurrency village. And we, to some extent, I think we should see it as a community. Like, sure, it's disappointing, but ultimately, who is given the responsibility of doing a cryptocurrency village? And it wasn't the DeFi it wasn't a dog coin project, right? Like, it was someone who knows what privacy and security are, and will take it very, very seriously. So I think that it is good that we were trusted with running with this very sensitive village for some people who frankly hate the cryptocurrency space for a lot of the reasons that many Monero contributors hate the cryptocurrency space. It's broader. So, yeah. Yep, for networking, it is a really important event to get people to be knowledgeable about Monero. And of course, a lot of fun too. I mean, where else are we going to meet up besides the shirt that someone else is wearing here? Is someone going to be able to meet up with a bunch of Monero-minded individuals in person?
Yeah, that's true. Who knows when we'll have the next Confranco?
Yeah, it'll probably be 2022, sadly, but yeah.
So.
The CCC is that happening in December, and is that still in Leipzig?
Yeah, I think next one is going to be in Leipzig, but you know that they are very secretive about where they are going to be until kind of last time. But everything aims at it being in Leipzig, and so far, it may even happen this year. But there's no confirmation of like live in-person meeting. Still, last year there wasn't any. Last year was all virtual.
Got it.
I don't know. I suppose it will depend on the whole variants and stuff. Last time it was huge, but I know that DevCon is huge, but the Leipzig one, the last one, well, a lot of people together. It was kind of like a pre-corona thing because you have to wash your hands every 5 meters or so. There were stuff everywhere to clean your hands. Not the face mask, but to clean your hands, because it's like the how do you call it? Like the fair flu or something like that. That everybody got sick a week after the conference. So
wow, yeah, that definitely sucks.
I can barely imagine after with COVID times.
Someone asked the question: is Seth going to be there? Yeah, Seth Simmons said that he would be at. I don't think he's going to DEF CON, but he said he'll be in Vegas during that time, and we'll be able to meet up with Monero, interested people while there. And
Yeah,
I assume we'll be at the
party.
Monero party. That party is going to be fantastic. I'm so excited. They do not have a foosball table though. Big oversight. I was going to beat everybody. I was going to win so much Monero off people by playing foosball and tricking them to play foosball against me and then just beating them all. But I can't do that. So I'll have to beat them in bowling instead. There's a bowling alley. There's a boxing ring. Like, it's ridiculous. Leave it to a Monero party to have a boxing ring at a party. Like, come on. That's ridiculous. Any final comments here?
Yeah, and tickets are going to go on sale.
Yeah, I heard they were supposed to go on sale today. So keep an eye on Reddit, the Monero subreddit, the Twitter, whatever, all the fun stuff. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to being there. Any final comments? It's about time here this week.
No.
Nope.
The cat is making noises, but no.
All right, I want to quickly thank Scott for running the first Monero space meeting in a few months. So thank you so much, Scott, for doing that.
Yep. So I guess on that note, well, I'll just say attend the next. Don't want to take up too much time. Attend the next space meeting, just because there's some ideas about if we want to launch a Lemmy instance or maybe have a Framasoft calendar instance that I'd like to ask and get feedback on, but maybe I should save it for Reddit or something. But anyways, so
yeah, at the moment we're using Google. It'd be good to get off that, and that's the calendar you can follow at the moment to track events is at monero.space/calendar. But that is on Google. It'd be good to get a self-hosted thing that actually did sync properly with people's calendars, because if it doesn't sync, no one's going to use it. So we need something that actually works. But yeah, cool stuff. So is that in 3 or 4 weeks, Scott? The next one?
It would, in theory, be the third Saturday of every month, so that should place it 4 weeks, I think. Let's count out in my calendar here. 1, 2,
21st, then, right?
3, 4, 5. So 5 weeks, I think. Am I counting that right? 1, 2,
yeah,
3.
5 weeks.
Yeah, so 5 weeks. So, but anyways, yes. So that's a meeting you can attend if you're interested in getting into providing feedback on more decentralized infrastructure for the community.
Perfect.
So
thanks, Scott, for that. Thanks, Scott and Andres, for being on. It's been a lot of fun this week. Sorry we pushed this one back compared to the previous Monero Meet. Again, follow the calendar though to see when we have the next one scheduled, and hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks for being part of the Monero community. Take care.
Thank you.
thanks.
Bye.